Think back to the atmosphere of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. For the next tournament in 2026, FIFA is stripping that baseline away and replacing it with something much more rigid. 10 specific new rules have been approved that dictate how the game is played, how it's managed from the touchline, and how officials maintain control. These measures focus on behaviors that have long been part of the game's dark arts, specifically tactical time wasting, outright player dissent, and the manipulation of officials. The result is a shift in the tournament's nature. It is no longer just a contest of physical skill, but a strictly regulated environment where success depends on total compliance with a new handbook. FIFA's stated goal is to provide fans with a cleaner, faster, and fairer match. But attempting to legislate human emotion while expanding video review authority creates a new set of risks for the sport. This comparison chart outlines our reality check. On the left is the Qatar 2022 reality, defined by clock milking and delayed offside flags. On the right, the 2026 standards, built on shot clocks, AI monitoring, and instant ejections. We need to evaluate the friction generated right here in the middle, where decades of player habits meet these new, inflexible regulations. Will these strict rules actually improve the viewing experience, or will they result in a chaotic, heavily interrupted product? The first major friction point is the aggressive crackdown on time wasting. Referees will now use a visible 5-second countdown for throw-ins and goal kicks. If the ball isn't in play by 0, possession flips. Substituted players now have exactly 10 seconds to leave the field at the nearest boundary, or their replacement is held on the sideline for an entire minute. Injury protocols have also tightened. Goalkeepers are banned from using injuries for tactical timeouts, and field players receiving treatment must wait a mandatory 60 seconds before returning to the pitch. By removing these pauses, FIFA intends to keep the ball in play longer, forcing a continuous cardiovascular output from every player on the field. Looking at this quadrant chart comparing time constraints against stamina depletion reveals the primary trade-off. As restart times shrink and stamina drops, unforced errors spike, heavily penalizing teams lacking deep benches or elite conditioning. There is also a physical risk to the injury rule. Players may choose to play through minor knocks to avoid leaving their team short-handed, which can lead to more significant injuries. While the match moves faster, these rules strip away an underdog's ability to catch their breath and manage a superior opponent's momentum. The second category of friction comes from a massive expansion of technological oversight. Match referees will now receive instant notifications from a semi-automated AI system that constantly detects offside positions in real time. This solves a major fan frustration. The flag goes up immediately. We no longer have to wait through several minutes of celebration only for a goal to be overturned. However, the technology is also moving into more controversial territory. VAR now has the authority to monitor fouls that happen before a set piece is even taken. If players are grappling or pushing in the box while waiting for a corner, VAR can flag those infractions and wipe out any resulting goal before the ball was technically in play. This flowchart maps a goal's new validation path. Notice the bottleneck, pre-kick VAR intervention. When a celebrated goal is wiped out for off-the-ball jostling, it alters the fan experience. You must wait for forensic validation before safely celebrating. The match becomes more accurate on paper, but it trades the sport's organic emotional release for clinical precision. The final category of rules enforces a zero-tolerance policy on player behavior. This behavior, covering the mouth with a hand, shirt, or the ball during a confrontation, is now an automatic red card. Referees also have the authority to immediately eject players who protest a decision or attempt to walk off the pitch. The goal is to protect the referee's authority and ensure that discriminatory remarks can no longer be hidden from cameras or officials. But in high-stakes knockout matches where adrenaline is high, this creates a major risk. A single verbal exchange or hand over the mouth could lead to an early red card that ruins the competitive balance of a match. There is a strange irony here. While players are threatened with ejection to ensure continuous play, FIFA has also mandated 3-minute hydration breaks in every half. By punishing players to keep the clock moving, FIFA has inadvertently created sanctioned tactical timeouts for coaches during these mandatory water breaks. When you look at the total impact of these technological and behavioral shifts, we can see exactly who benefits from this new environment. This scorecard reveals the new competitive landscape. Who thrives includes casual fans craving constant action and elite squads maintaining a relentless pace. Who suffers features underdog nations relying on disruption and traditionalists frustrated by constant VAR interventions. By removing the traditional methods of managing game momentum, these rules shift the competitive advantage toward the world's most physically and technically elite rosters. The 2026 World Cup will offer higher athletic intensity, but it comes within a very rigid and unforgiving disciplinary structure. For anyone watching, the best advice is this: do not celebrate a set-piece goal until the other team has officially kicked off from the center circle. The era of gamesmanship and the dark arts is being phased out. In its place, a more clinical and strictly legislated version of football has arrived.